Bitcoin continues to chop sideways as crypto markets slowly bleed, but a lot of analysts are looking for a massively explosive move coming in the very near future based on quite a few indicators. In the meantime, we have a ton of news like Steven Mnuchin having a 180 on Bitcoin, Jackson Palmer, the founder of Doge, coming out of retirement to rain all over our parade. Vitalik Buterin is going to be in a movie. There's so much news and we're going to talk about it all right now. Let's go. What's up, everybody? I'm Scott Melker, also known as the Wolf of All Streets. Before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button right down below. Now, as I mentioned, we'll look very quickly at Bitcoin chart, but there's not much happening. It's slowly bleeding out with the rest of the market, but a lot of people are expecting a major move coming soon. Let's first take a look at the chart, and then we can review all of the amazing news that's happening in the market right now. First, take a very brief look at coin market cap. You can see Bitcoin down about 3%, Ethereum 4%, everything else kind of in that same zone. Just a slow bleed that continues to go on, but as we've seen, we tend to have these slow bleeds during the week, and then things rise over the weekend, closing Bitcoin back above 34K. We've had 8 weekly candles on Bitcoin that have closed above 34,000 after trading below. It'll be interesting to see if that happens again. Here on the daily chart, you can see we're at the bottom of the B bands here, and they're very, very tight. As I've mentioned before, we've only seen them this tight, and now they're actually tighter in April and December, which preceded huge moves. We are at the bottom. We would expect a massive move coming with the bands this tight. Let's hope that it is to the upside. Also on the daily chart, you can see we're still just in this descending blue channel. We are being rejected here at the EQ, but it'll be interesting to see where the day closes. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 candles that have tested this ascending blue line. This is the 12th. Let's see if it closes above. And on the 4-hour chart, we just have this very clear local channel here that has been forming. Maybe we come down to the bottom of it and then eventually exit up. Bottom line, there's nothing to analyze here. This is chop. Bitcoin below 30,000 will be problematic. Above 36K right here at the EQ of this channel would start to give us some hope that maybe we can target the top of the channel. Ultimately, we need to be above 42,000. Sell in May and go away would have been great advice this year. This is boring. There's very little to see. But I did actually just record a podcast with Willy Woo, and he said fundamentally on-chain, we are seeing that speculators and retail are selling into very strong hands, old wallets, and the original gangster whales. So fundamentally, we are seeing that this is accumulation by large wallet holders who are patient, and they are being sold their coins by impatient new retail speculators. Now let's dig right into all the news because it's very entertaining. We have a very Hollywood focus, a lot of movies being made or ex-movie people involved here. Steven Mnuchin, who was actually the former Treasury Secretary, but also a former movie producer, has done a full 180. It's fine to buy Bitcoin as gold substitute, says Trump ex-Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. Here's what he said.
The first part of it is, I think the underlying technology of blockchain is really incredible and has lots of different things, particularly in fintech and finance. I think as it relates to Bitcoin, if people want to buy Bitcoin as a substitute, no different than buying gold or some other asset, it's fine. I don't personally want to have it in my portfolio, but if people want to do, I think that's perfectly fine. But I do think it's very important that this is an asset that has complete BSA and regulatory compliance. And matter of fact, under the OCC last year, we approved that banks could custodian it. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to make sure that this was becoming in the regulated world. So my real focus is people want to buy it. That's fine. Some people will think it'll go up. Some people will think go down, but it should be in the regulated world. And it should be fully BSA compliant.
That's quite an astounding turnaround because when he was obviously in the Trump administration, they were very negative on Bitcoin and he had nothing nice to say. Even Trump said that it's a scam. Always nice to see us recruiting someone from the other side and bringing them from the dark side over to the light side. But that doesn't mean we like this guy. He's still a massive D-bag. Now, in what's been pretty powerful news and largely discussed here, Jackson Palmer, the founder of Dogecoin, who obviously has not been involved in a very, very long time, came out and wrote a thread on Twitter, and holy mother, is he angry. Let's just read it. I'm going to read it to you. I'm often asked if I will return to cryptocurrency or begin regularly sharing my thoughts on the topic again. My answer is a wholehearted no, but to avoid repeating myself, I figure it might be worthwhile briefly explaining why here. After years of studying it, I believe that cryptocurrency is an inherently right-wing, hyper-capitalistic technology built primarily to amplify the wealth of its proponents through a combination of tax avoidance, diminished regulatory oversight, and artificially enforced scarcity. Yikes. Despite claims of decentralization, the cryptocurrency industry is controlled by a powerful cartel of wealthy figures who, with time, have evolved to incorporate many of the same institutions tied to the existing centralized financial system that supposedly set out to replace. The cryptocurrency industry leverages a network of shady business connections, bot influencers, and pay-for-play media outlets to perpetuate a cult-like get-rich-quick funnel designed to extract new money from the financially desperate and naive. Financial exploitation undoubtedly existed before cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency is almost purpose-built to make the funnel of profiteering more efficient for those at the top and less safeguarded for the vulnerable. Cryptocurrency is like taking the worst parts of today's capitalist system and using software to technically limit the use of interventions which serve as protections or safety nets for the average person. Lose your savings account password? Your fault. Fall victim to a scam? Your fault. Billionaires manipulating markets? They're geniuses. This is the type of dangerous free-for-all capitalism cryptocurrency was unfortunately architected to facilitate since its inception. But these days, even the modest critique of cryptocurrency will draw smears from the powerful figures in control of the industry and the ire of retail investors who they've sold the false promise of one day being a fellow billionaire. Good faith debate is near impossible. For these reasons, I simply no longer go out of my way to engage in public discussion regarding cryptocurrency. It doesn't align with my politics or belief system, and I don't have the energy to try and discuss that with those unwilling to engage in a grounded conversation. I applaud those with the energy to continue asking the hard questions and applying the lens of rigorous skepticism all technology should be subject to. New technology can make the world a better place, but not when decoupled from its inherited politics or societal consequences. Holy mother, that was a mouthful. Haters gonna hate, ballers gonna ball. Now listen, there are some good points made here, obviously, but I think he's completely missing the point of the original intention. He's pretending that cryptocurrency was created to manipulate the system and for people to take advantage of the poor and the weak. That's clearly not the case. Anyone can read Satoshi's white paper. So it's pretty absurd for him now to look back in hindsight and say that everything was created for these evil purposes, that it's a large evil empire run by cartels. But I am sure there is some truth in what he's saying, and it's always interesting to listen to the other side. That said, dude, you're raining on our parade. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency are doing a lot of good for a lot of people, and I think you're completely missing that point in this thread. And on to the next article here. Tesla correlation to big tech breaks down. Blame Bitcoin. Oh my God. Blame Bitcoin. Blame Bitcoin for the fact that Tesla hasn't delivered my car that I ordered 7 months ago and says it'll be 5 more months and that they're going to charge me an extra $10,000. Blame Bitcoin for Tesla not being able to deliver any Model X's or Model S's this entire year. Blame Bitcoin because Tesla can't get chips and the entire car industry is completely screwed. Yeah, that makes sense. Let's blame Bitcoin. Yes, Tesla made a modest investment in Bitcoin. It's a very small part of their treasury and a very tiny part of their business. And in Q1, they sold some of it to boost their quarterly numbers. It was a smart move. We've discussed that before. But now they're saying, well, we don't know how they'll handle it on their quarterly earnings for two, so Tesla stock is down. It's absolutely absurd. Bitcoin is not the reason. Tesla has an entire business that has nothing to do with our beloved asset. This, yet again, is Bloomberg clickbait made to FUD Bitcoin. In a really cool story, Fox token up 77% on ShapeShift DAO airdrop news. Eric Voorhees, who I've talked to, had on my podcast, partied hard with in Miami at a club at about 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, Eric, true to his word, is eliminating all centralization from ShapeShift and going to a DAO model, fully decentralized and basically winding down his own operations and the operations of those in power over ShapeShift. This is a really inspiring move, really cool to see somebody not only talking the talk, but walking the walk and moving towards full decentralization at his own economic peril and risk. This is his baby. This is something that he built, and he's giving it to the people. In the next story, Vitalik Buterin is involved in a new documentary about Ethereum. Wow, that's going to be an awkward movie. Have you ever seen this guy? I love Vitalik Buterin, but I don't necessarily want to watch him in an entire movie. But really interesting, they're raising 750 ETH through crowdfunding to make this movie, Ethereum, the Infinite Garden. I bet you'll watch it. I'll watch it. Let's be real. I'm going to watch it. And finally, we have Spike Lee making a commercial for CoinCloud, basically a Bitcoin ATM company called The Currency of Currency. If you watch it, Spike Lee absolutely destroys old money and talks about the superiority of new money. There's lots of celebrities in the commercial. This is playing everywhere. It's going viral. Absolutely awesome to see this happening. You love to see it. We love when we're getting mainstream attention from huge celebrities talking about how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are superior money and how fiat is out the dough.
The digital rebellion is here. Old money is out. New money is in.
Tomorrow at 2 p.m. EDT, I will be live streaming with two of my friends, Crypto Burb and Big Cheds. You guys don't want to miss this. We're going to be talking about markets and everything that's going on heading into the weekend. Please check out everything I got in the description. Subscribe to my newsletter. Check out Compass Mining. I've been absolutely loving my experience there. And of course, my sponsor, Femex, who will, starting Monday, be giving away a up to $1,200 bonus for depositing Bitcoin and using the exchange. Guys, that is it. Until tomorrow, peace.